to A City Planner Plays City Builders. We are building the city of Verde Beach, and I thank you for your patience. It's been a little while getting back to Verde Beach. We spent a lot of time in Bluffside Crossing. But today I want to come back here and talk about transportation. And before we get into that, though, I wanted to give you a quick view from the corner of East 1st Street and Carter Street. This area is one of the older areas in the city. It's filling in, and there's a lot happening here. This is a corner that it's a bit of a mixed. It's a bit of a neighborhood center. It's a place where if you lived on East 1st, you'd be able to walk to a bookstore, or maybe even another bookstore, and find a book, or maybe a laundromat or whatever this is. The whole idea, though, was to have neighborhood serving uses in the neighborhood, and I think it's worked out quite well, with the exception of the duplicates. But I'll overlook that. Competition. So I mentioned today we're going to focus on transportation. In the previous episode, one of the things that I mentioned is that we've now unlocked some of our rail assets. So what I think would be great to do would be to add a cargo rail terminal right in this area. It's the natural place for it with the roadway network that we've built. But I don't want to stop there. We have a deficiency in intracity transportation, or intercity transportation rather. So I'm thinking that it would be good to add a train terminal, a passenger train terminal in the city. And I also want to add a intercity bus terminal that will eventually be kind of the first transfer point of sorts in our system. And finally, we desperately need an interchange onto the highway here. We need to fix this backup that we're seeing on our cloverleaf. So I'm going to be ambitious. I'm going to tackle all of these things one by one. I'm going to start with the rail network and finish off with the improvements to the interstate over here. So without any further ado, I am going to need to pause a lot for this episode. I'm going to explain what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to kind of just do the work without talking much. So right now, I'm going to build this this cargo train terminal right here off Semper Verde. I'm not going to build it directly on Semper Verde. So this is something that I feel is incredibly important. I don't want all of that truck traffic loading onto Semper Verde. I would much rather it load onto a frontage road. So what that means functionally is that I know that this rail corridor is too close, so I'm going to need to kick it back even further and create a frontage road to Semper Verde. So I'm thinking I might connect Elm Street and come back around on Semper Verde and connect up onto Semper Verde. So that might be on 5th Street. I might just have a frontage road going along there. But I want to keep the traffic off the regional road, if at all possible. And I think this will lead to better traffic flow in general. So without any further ado, let's get that started. Okay, so now I have this terminal here, and I paused a little bit to think about things. You might have noticed a couple of things off the bat. Number one, this asset isn't square with the road. I don't really think that's a problem because it filled it in from a visual standpoint and from the standpoint of how it's going to work. The most important thing I did here was got it off the main road. One thing that I would love to do would be to upgrade this dirt road. I need to move this warehouse if I'm going to do that. Unfortunately, the warehouse is fronting the road. So let me see if I can get that to move a little bit. I'm going to struggle with that. I can see it already. So I might need to be very reasonable and realistic with this. Move it temporarily, upgrade that road, and then take it from there. Okay, now I just kind of want to turn this on and see how it functions. This is significantly tighter than I would like it to be. The problem is I don't want these two lines. So this is the line that goes out along the coast. This is the line that comes in along the highway, and they merge right here. I really don't like that location, but at this point it seems really over the top, I guess, to change this location. So this will be a pinch point. Things will slow down right here, and they might back up, and in the future I might need to do some work to repair that. That said, for the time being, I think it'll function okay, and I kind of want to just keep an eye on it and monitor. And that's kind of the dark side of planning, is sometimes you are just monitoring things. You're suspicious of them, but maybe you don't have the evidence to demonstrate that it's going to be a problem. So you kind of monitor and stick with it. Now, one thing I did forget to do here that I like to do with these train stations is have a one-way road. This makes traffic a little bit more predictable. There is this is signalized. I don't think that's necessary, so I think we're going to take that signal away. We can have a stop sign there, and that should be sufficient to control this area. And as you can tell right now, I'll speed it up momentarily. Things are functioning okay. We will see if that degrades in the future. I think it's going to be okay though. So next, I mentioned I want to have a passenger train station. And the main reason for this at this point is intercity transportation. So what I'm thinking is I want it to be a through street that receives this station. So I took a look. There are a couple candidates. You can have 11th, 10th, 8th. Peter's not a good candidate in my mind, because I want this to be a route that I could link up a bus to in the future. So the problem with 11th Street is now I'm fighting with the interchange on Main Street, and 10th is very close to the interchange as well. So I think 8th is going to be the best location for this. And unfortunately, this lovely house with this pergola in the back, we're going to have to use eminent domain. And we're going to also make some of the neighbors unhappy by having a bridge over the interstate. It's kind of an unfortunate situation. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to have to lower this interstate to accomplish what I'm hoping to do. And I'm thinking it might be fun to do this in real time. So to do that, I'm going to build a temporary access road. And I need to sync this highway to not have a crazy bridge. So I'm going to eliminate a significant portion of this highway so I can modify the grade. So let's just see how this works. Okay, so I'm going to use the construction cost to mirror the length on the other side of the highway. So $970 is what I need this road to be to have it be a consistent length. Okay, got that, and I think it has a nice angle to it. So now I will just get these highway segments reestablished. We'll get rid of that service road, and now we're good. We do need to reinstall our sound barrier, but I think we're looking good. All right, so now we want to have a train station over here, and I again want this to be very even and look pleasant. So I'm going to get rid of the road guidelines, but I'm going to go 10 tiles over on either side, and then try to perfectly center this on the road. Now, there's a rationale for that. People are going to walk out here. This isn't a road that I expect a lot of people to drive on, or I should say I expect it, but I would prefer people use the road for pedestrian trips or transit trips. Okay, so next I am going to try to mirror the angle, the approach angle. So I'm going to go $900 this way, and then I'm going to do the same thing over here, try to get the same angle, and then again go 900. Breaking the power over here, I'll need to fix that. And lastly, I'll need to get water in this area. And since it's all right away, I'll go underneath the bridge. Okay, so now everything should be established over here. It's set up to allow intercity trains, so this should function right off the bat. But I don't want to stop there. I want to really focus on intercity transportation because I think we have more jobs right now than people. So understanding that, we need to start, planning accordingly. So I want to have an intercity bus station, and I've given this some thought. And first of all, I think that to understand where I'm going to place this, I need to establish this road network. And I'm going to be using these dirt roads as kind of planning roads for the time being. And I'm going to be building in this area soon. But for the time being, I just kind of want some planning roads. Okay, you might have wondered the significance of these planning roads. Well, there is one key point of significance, I suppose, with this, and that is the 12 tiles that we have here is the perfect space to have a whole bunch of facilities, including this intercity bus facility that is now in close walking distance to our streetcar, our tram line. And we at this point, it would be very simple for someone to hop over here, take our pedestrian path, and get to our stops. So it's a great location for that. That said, I'm noticing some weird height things. I probably should have leveled this before I placed it, so I am going to do that quickly now. Unfortunately, without Move It, it's not going to be perfect. You can kind of see that there are some issues around the back. I'm going to try one more time. Kind of the same situation, so I'm going to overlook that. Hopefully you will join me in overlooking that, because it's not a great situation. One of the things that I also know is that our death care is getting a little troubling. So we're going to need to start thinking about that soon. But we now have this intercity train station. We have an intercity bus terminal. So what else will we need to make that bus terminal function? Well, I'm going to extend Umber Avenue, which again, that'll be renamed in the future. I have a name list that in a coming episode in this recording series, I will make some corrections to the naming of the roads. That's not today. Anyway, I want to add a bus depot over here. So first, if I'm going to be adding roads over here, I really want to make this connection because this could be a great back channel for buses to get in without needing to circle around the city or hop on the interstate and do some weird thing coming through the forestry district. So this could be a little cut through for the transit system. So I'm going to use it as such. So sometimes in urban environments, you'll see roads that you kind of wonder, how did that road get to be what it is? I don't understand the alignment here. Sometimes it's because it's a purpose-built road. The purpose of this road will be to handle traffic basically from buses and transit. And we know that we're kind of sticking a whole bunch of uses in this area that are a little more noxious, not great uses to have homes around or businesses, but clustered together, as long as we're dissipating traffic, not a big problem. So there are two options for bus depots. There's the standard bus depot, which throws out diesel buses, and then the biofuel bus depot, which has compressed natural gas buses. I greatly prefer a biofuel bus depot for a couple of reasons. In reality, if you have a landfill, you can sometimes extract your own compressed natural gas and have buses converted to use that. So it's a great way to alleviate a waste product that you'd otherwise burn off. In the game, it means that the buses are quieter, and they're quieter in reality too. Without having the opportunity or option to use electric buses, this is a good one. So we're going to have our bus depot over here near our recycling centers. And now when we do have bus lines, this will be where they're coming from. And this is a great location because it is right near Semper Verde. So we're able to get to the downtown area, our old downtown area, very, very easily. We're able to get to our train station easily and serve everything west of Main Street fairly efficiently. And we're able to hop on the interstate if we want and send a bus straight down to the Lewis Lumber Company. So it serves a variety of functions, and that's why I think this is a great location for it. With the Intercity Bus Station, this is great because you can come right off the interstate, get right onto Semper Verde, and stop at the Intercity Bus Station. So in addition to the transfer opportunities. So I think these are all well sited and well placed. So with that, what next? Well, I have a real problem with this particular junction. We're seeing a lot of traffic here. Let's take a look at the traffic flow. So we still have good overall traffic flow, but I'm concerned that when there's a red light, you're starting to see some of these trucks back up to the off-ramp, and that is a recipe for disaster. A couple things that we could do here. We could try to continue this frontage road along. Maybe it'll get some traffic to move up here. I doubt it. They're going to want to take the shortest trip, and unless they're going, to this small lumber yard or log yard over here, they're probably not going to go up and take this back road to get there. They're probably still going to take this. So what I'm thinking is, we have an opportunity here. We have West River Street, and it's terminating at these at this bridge here. Well, if we lowered it, we could potentially get it underneath the bridge and do a Parco over here to alleviate some of this traffic. So that's what I'm going to do now. I also think that we might have to raise this bridge up a little bit to accomplish this. So we will see. So again, I'm going to stop talking and get this done. For this, I am going to pause it. This will be very disruptive, and there's no way to make it not disruptive, and there's no way to really redirect traffic anywhere. We would just be closing off the highway, and that's not a great idea ever. So I'm going to I'm going to pause the game. I do want to use, and you're going to notice I do this routinely when I'm working on highways. I'll use dirt roads to actually create basically all of my, to do all the work I'm going to do. I find that they're easy to work with. You get the ability to measure things, which is incredibly important. You don't have that ability when you're using freeway pieces. So I will use a dirt road. Okay, so before I finish this, I'm going to mirror the same design on the other side. Running into a couple of issues with this because of the bend in the road, which is unfortunate, but it happens. So I'll have to freestyle a little bit to make this work. that will function and traffic will move appropriately. Okay, so this will work as is with the exception of this road not connecting. So I could try to bridge over the interstate. That's not reasonable. So I think I am going to eliminate portions of this bridge temporarily and take this road down. So I'm going to need to do the grading up front. And I'm going to take a relatively extreme approach and let the game fix it, because it will. Okay, that is not low enough, so I think I might need to take the bridge back a little bit further, unfortunately. Okay, so that should be good. We just need to make our last connection and we are set. We are not set. I put these pillars too close. Okay, now we are good. So I just want to make sure of a couple of things. First of all, let's continue to maintain our names there. Next, I want to make sure that all of our roads are going in the right direction. I know they're not right now. I think that should fix it. And right away, you start to see, oh, traffic looping back around. That's just kind of a remnant that was the path that was set. All right, now we can kind of see what's happening over here too. Oh, exactly what I was afraid of happening did happen, which means we're going to need a more extreme remedy in this area. I think temporarily I might do something that I don't think is all that reasonable, but it will at least let us proceed for now without massive train backups. In the future, we're going to need to do something better. So I think this will right away just kind of remedy all of our transportation issues in this area. And this hub is really important because it's important to remember right now the only industrial asset that we have as a city is lumber materials. We don't have any other general commercial happening at all. So it's important that we have a good train connection, even if it's not the most perfect connection. So we have that, and I'm going to do something a little weird, maybe a little hokey to this cloverleaf to get it to work. But my thought is most of this cloverleaf is functioning correctly. The main problem seems to be the merging between Emma Highway and Main Street. It shouldn't be Main Street. I'll rename these after. But this is the main problem that we're having. So I absolutely despise when I see a highway that has a left-hand exit. That said, they exist for a reason, and it's because it might be the least expensive solution in this particular case. If I could get Emma Highway drivers to merge in the left-hand lane, I think I would fool the AI. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this leg of the cloverleaf off and get this to go underneath. Get this to go next to the Main Street and merge on that side. A lot of work's going to need to be done to make that possible. And I'm going to turn this all into a dirt road, basically, to accomplish it. So bear with me for a second. I think this is going to be interesting. Now, my reasons for for syncing this might not be readily apparent, but I think you're going to see it as soon as I get a little ways into this project. So I do want to give myself as much separation between this movement as possible. That's not a great movement. I will be the first to admit it. This is another reason why merging on the left is not a good idea. But we're going to do it anyway. That is crazy. That's not what I was hoping for. This significantly steeper incline. So I'm going to try to remedy that. Okay, so this looks significantly uglier than when I tested it. I'm pretty disappointed in that. That said, I don't know that I have a great remedy right now, short of rebuilding it. So, I might... might try to fix some of this with bridging, which is not a great solution. Admittedly. But it will clean up the look. It certainly looks a lot nicer with a bridge, so I guess that's a win. So, good enough for now. Let's see how it functions. Actually, I don't even like seeing that this used to be a cloverleaf. So let's just really lead into this not being a cloverleaf anymore and it being some other weird monstrosity created to remedy a problem, and it was done on the cheap, so officially done on the cheap. No symmetry, which drives me crazy, but we at least brought some land back that the DOT could sell to potentially make some of the money back for all these extra bridges that we now have. So I think I'm just going to name this Interstate 1 eastbound, Interstate 1 westbound, and it looks like it goes all the way through, so that's good. Interstate 1 does, westbound does not. And let's see how this monstrosity performs. Speed things up. Look at that. Traffic flow. 88. We even got this queue, it's about the same. Maybe it'll get better, I don't know. We do have a lot of traffic using this now though, so that's, yeah, it looks like it's functioning a little bit better. Overall, bouncing around 88, 90% traffic flow with these couple of improvements. So this is ugly, but it works. This is not my favorite interchange, but it functions. It's better than this. And now we're at 91%, so I'm going to take that as a win. So I think that's where I'm going to end it. This was a little bit longer because I wanted to cover a whole bunch of different things. And I could start to make some of those bus connections, but I don't think it's time yet. I think that's a good topic for the next episode. So the city's growing. We have almost 10,000 residents, just probably a little bit on a little bit of simming away. Let's see if we can get it there. There we are, 10,000 residents, and we've got a variety of modes of transportation. Let's see, not a lot of utilization of our train. Let's take a look. Okay, actually, that's fine. 581 passengers a day, or per week, 23 of which are tourists, which is tourism without a tourism district. So win in my book. So in the next episode, I think that we are going to start to lay this out. And one of the things that we're going to need to do is figure out what this is and what we do with it. And I've got some really great ideas that I'll go over. But I'm going to end this here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please consider hitting the like button. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. And if you want to be notified when I release new videos, hit the notification bell and you will be notified. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.